Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Bert the Stormtrooper and this is the home of That's Just Prime, the comprehensive Optimus Prime review series. I also review other Transformers, lots of G1 stuff, as well as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, GoBots, and pretty much any other toy that may jump out of me. I also do the occasional arcade and pinball machine videos, unboxings, blogs, challenges, and miscellaneous videos where my daughter usually makes fun of me. Those are a lot of fun. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking me out. Please be sure to click that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you're notified when I upload a new video. I usually upload 2 videos a week, sometimes more. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up and share if you like what you see. Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today I'm going to be doing an update, or a part 3 if you will, of what I am now calling the finalized version of my daughter's custom Proton pack from Spirit Halloween. Halloween is upon us once again, and as it is every year, my previous 2 videos are starting to get a lot of questions about the work that I've done to the pack, to do, how-tos, that kind of stuff. So I wanted to address some of those questions and also go a little bit into some of the updates that I've done to it to call it the finalized version. If you haven't seen the previous 2 videos, I'm going to put links to them below. Also, they'll be popping up here. The first one should be popping up right about now, and then the second one will pop up a little bit later. So you can see kind of the progress of the pack, where it started and how it got to here. Some of the questions that I've been getting, unfortunately, there's one in particular I won't be able to really address, and that is from somebody who's watched the videos. They kind of want to follow along with what I did, but they've never done any prop work or custom work before. They're afraid to cut into it, do some damage that they won't be able to repair. So they asked if I could do a how-to video. Unfortunately, I don't have another pack to build. I started this one 2 years ago, and I did the main build then, and then just every year I've done updates and upgrades to it to get it where it's at now. I don't have another pack to build, and now that I have a 1-year-old, I also don't have the time. Some of you may be wondering where I've been. That's where I've been. I just don't have time to make videos at the moment. Time's been really scarce, so I'm sorry I won't be able to do a how-to video. However, there are plenty of other how-to videos available on YouTube on custom Spirit packs. I watched a multitude of those myself, and I just kind of cherry-picked what I like from one video, what I like from the other, and just kind of put together in my head what I wanted to do from each video, combined with my own pack and what I wanted it to look based on my own pack. My pack is up here on the wall in the back there. That is a 1-to-1 prop. I don't wear a Spirit pack. I'm a bigger guy, so that this pack looks tiny on me and it doesn't look good. I wear the 1-to-1. This is for my daughter. My wife, who's also small framed and little, she wears it from time to time. It looks fine on her. I've shown pictures before. My pack just looks way too big on them. So yeah, not for me. It's mostly for my kids. But based on my own pack in those videos, that's kind of where I came up with what I wanted to do here. So to go over what I've done previously and just kind of a recap and get to where I'm at now. One of the first questions I got was about removing the backing board. And well, the backing board's not here anymore, so I really don't know why I'm turning this around. Somebody was asking me about removing the backing board and then without damaging it, and then how to get it to stay back on. The original backing board on this is a piece of cardboard that they just screwed on, and then they just glued a piece of felt over it. Originally, I was using that backing board, and my goal was to not damage the felt. That was what was important to me at the time. So what I did is, on your pack, you'll notice there's an access hole up here for the battery pack. I reached in that hole with my hand and got to where the screws are, the first 2 screws up here, and just very carefully popped it through the screw. So yes, I was breaking the holes. I wasn't going to be able to screw it back on, but I was popping. That way I was able to pop the whole board off, and the felt was undamaged. And then when I put it back on, simply all I did was literally just put it there, and then the Alice frame held it in place. And I never had a problem with it. It's got a different board now. I'll get into that once I get into the updates of what I've done this year. And then so I did that. I took the backing board off. I took the electronics out carefully, because originally I put the electronics back in. Okay. And then whatever wires and cables I could remove without damaging, I did so. If I couldn't take them off, for example, these red ones, if I remember correctly, it's been 2 years. These red ones I don't think I could take off, so I simply tape them. Just spend a lot of time taping them, and I spend a lot of time masking. Same thing with the stickers. Some of these I was able to remove without damaging. Some of them, as soon as I saw that they were going to be damaged, all I did was just mask them. And then I painted the whole thing. Painted it a semi-gloss black. I used the I think it's Rust-Oleum that makes it. I don't remember. Again, it's been 2 years, but it's the paint that is primer and paint together, right? So I used that, and I used a semi-gloss. So I didn't go flat. I didn't go glossy. I went right in the middle, and I painted the whole thing. So then I put it all back together, and then I uncovered, you know, the wires. I put the stickers back on and all of that stuff. There is a green wire here. I covered that with split loom to make it more accurate. Okay. Then I drilled a hole up here. I got a brass bar from Home Depot, and I glued the brass bar in there to make the iron bar there. I ordered a ribbon cable online, and a lot of people ask me GB1 or GB2 cable. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I just went on eBay. I found a ribbon cable, the cheapest one I could find, and that's the one I bought. Done. I did have to widen the gap here to get the cable to fit in, hot glued and placed down there, and then put in through here, cut it, hot glued and placed down there, and then I got the cable clamp and I screwed that in place. So that really gives it a really nice facelift, just to have the iron bar and a proper ribbon cable on there. It makes all the difference in the world. What else? I also, with some of the leftover split loom that I had and an extra piece of blue cable, I went ahead and built this one here, because out of the box the Spirit only has this red wire here, okay? And if I don't know if you can see it on the one on the wall up there, there's supposed to be a red and a blue cable there. So I went ahead and with the split loom I built the little connector down here and up here, and then I just put the blue cable, so just kind of you know, give it a little bit more of a facelift. And then a couple more things. Okay, so I cut off the peg. Initially the original thrower was on here, so I cut the peg off, and I got these are well, not this one, but this one is a Dixie cup clamp. You can get these online. They're like 10 bucks, I think, for the pair. And that's how the gun went on and off, just with that. And it makes it to where you can actually pull the gun up and be able to put it back on, and it's not on a peg and it's not spinning. So originally, the original gun, I painted the original gun as well, gave it a little bit of an uplift, and it had the original electronics. I put those back in, so the gun was fully working, and you could press the button and it would make the lights and sounds and all of that. Finally, I went and got an LED, a Velman LED chaser kit. They're about $8 on Amazon. It's an 8 LED chaser kit, and I wired that in there with a AA battery, and I just put the LEDs in the order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that when you turn it on, you've got a rotating cyclotron and you've got a rising power bar, all on one circuit for $8 with a 9-volt battery. Super cheap. Looked fantastic, and again, the electronics, the original gun electronics, still worked. And then finally, probably one of the more obvious changes would have been that I added the Alice frame, and the Alice frame is simply zip tied on. It's still zip tied on there. It's still zip tied there. So, and that's what's holding the board that's on there now. No problems. So that was the initial build. That's everything that I showed off in the first video. Then during that first video, I also showed off a 3D gun that I was building at the time. Now in the second video, I had the gun here already mounted on the pack itself. And what I had done is I had built, and I built my own just electronics, just put, just a series of LEDs and batteries and switches to the 3D printed gun, so that you could turn the gun on and it would have its hat light, it would have its power bar, a couple of LEDs here and here. And then I integrated I took out all the guts out of the original Spirit gun, and I put them in that 3D printed gun as well. So it had a button up here that you pressed, and it was the same button that was on the Spirit pack. So it would then, the barrel would light up and blink, and then the gun would, or the pack itself would do everything that the Spirit pack does, the way it is when you buy it. And that was everything that I showed off in the second video. Okay, so since then, what has changed? You'll remember, if you watch the second video, you'll remember that I had on my pack a Matty wand. And that Matty wand went to an amplifier board and a light board that's designed specifically for the Matty wand. so that when you run the MADI 1, it runs the lights on the pack, and it also amplifies the sounds from the MADI 1 so they sound nice and loud. And then, you know, if you're holding the button too long, it goes into the overheat sequence, all of that. The lights work with that. So it's a board that's built specifically for the MADI gun. So the MADI gun and that board, amplifier, speaker, all of that had been on my pack for years. Once I got the 3D printed gun completed, I slowly started getting the proper lights for the gun, the proper lights for the pack, an amplifier, the whole 9 yards, and I just started piecing it together slowly. Once I've had every kit together, I took both packs and I completely gutted them. This has been the stuff that I've been doing this year. So I completely gutted both packs. On my pack, I put the I gutted all the electronics that I put into it when it was on the Spirit pack, and I put the proper gun lights on it. And so my pack got the 3D printed gun, new lights, new sounds all the way around. So that's everything on my pack now. Is the 3D printed gun, all new lights, all new sounds, all new effects. All that is on the gun now. I can go between movie effects or movie sound effects to video game sound effects. I can play the music. It does the whole 9 yards. I took the MADI gun, the lights from the MADI gun, and the amplifier, the speaker, all of that, and I brought them to the Spirit pack. So the original electronics that were in the Spirit pack, I have now removed those. And I think for the moment, I just have them put away. I don't think I've put them in anything else at the moment. So all those, I just took them out and I kept them for safekeeping. So this is now the MADI gun with the electronics. I did a couple things to the MADI gun as well. So originally the MADI gun, it runs to the board. It just has like an auxiliary cable that plugs in the back here, if you're familiar with the MADI gun. So it had like a PVC coupling to hide that connector and to hold the hose. So it also had the white tube up here, which I never liked, and it had the extension and all of that. So again, I watched multitude of videos online on how-tos on how to open the MADI gun, because there is some drilling that will be required. You have to expose some of these screw holes that are covered from the factory to get in here, and you really have to know what you're doing to get in here. I drilled out the back of this so that I could actually put the hose in. The actual connector is halfway inside the handle now, and it's tied and secured in place so it won't be pulled out. And then, you know, now the gun, or rather the hose, actually goes into the handle properly, like it should. I removed the white extending barrel, and I put in a clear barrel, which I like much better. Initially, I wanted to make this extend just like the white one does. To my surprise, this is an extra. When I bought the 3D printed kit, I bought 2 of these barrels because I knew it was something that I was going to want to do eventually. So I had the extra barrel. Now, to my surprise, the actual white barrel that goes to the MacLeod gun is very, very short. It's really only about that long, and then the whole thing, you know, extends out. Okay, so I was surprised to see the length of it. To get this one to do the same, I would have had to A, cut it, and B, drill into it to attach the mechanism to it. I don't have the proper tools to work on clear acrylics. I've tried it on my own in the past. I've had very bad luck. I've never successfully cut or drilled into plexiglass or clear acrylic or anything like that without destroying it. Being that this was the only tube that I had, I decided, you know what, leave it extended at all times. The extension, the length of it was just perfect to have the perfect extension length here. So I said, you know what, just leave it extended all the time. The switch, when if you're familiar with the MacLeod gun, you would use this handle here to make the barrel extend. So the switch that tells the gun the barrel is extended, you may now fire. I went ahead and just removed that switch and closed the circuit. So the gun thinks the barrel is always extended. Every time you turn it on, the barrel is extended and it's ready to fire. So that has been all brought on here. And because I brought a speaker on board and an amplifier board and all of that, I removed the cardboard backing, and then I just cut a backboard out of wood that I then painted and mounted on the pack itself. Originally, I wanted to have this screwed on to the pack itself so that the Alice frame would be actually screwed to the board would be screwed to the pack. Not the best cut. The board the board that I had available to me was thicker than what I really wanted to work with, and the trace was just not really great. It's kind of one of those things that the first attempt is never good. You have to cut a couple before you get it right, but I only had the one piece of wood available, so the first cut was the cut. That's the one that went on there. So it was good enough to actually fit onto the board, or onto the pack, however. Things are falling behind me. there are ghosts in the room. I may have to fire these up. So, but at least the base or the majority of the board was the right shape and size to actually get it into the pack. And then put the frame on secure with a zip tie, so it's good to go. And now it's got the battery and the controller box and everything mounted on here. So I've got a volume control, I've got the blue brick battery, got a couple of switches on there. So now I can go ahead and just fire this guy up with a Mattel gun, and it's got the proper lights and sounds. And it knows the barrel is already extended, so it's ready to fire. And it's got the vibration and all of that. So it's also got the a secondary switch that I added. So if I flip that, it'll go into a hum for about 30 minutes before it stops. So really, really cool. And then if I shoot the gun, that once you make another sound, it'll shut the vibration off. There you go. So yeah, my daughter is over the moon now that, like I said, this is a completed pack now. If I ever get if I ever get the bug to get into it again, a couple of things that I would do is probably build. I would maybe paint it again, maybe a gloss black. I don't know. I keep going back and forth on the paint. I wanted it to be semi-gloss, but now I go around the conventions and I see gloss packs, and I'm like, that looks nice. I kind of want to do that, so I might get the bug to take it apart and paint it at some point. If I ever do. The only things that I would do would be to fill in the original speaker hole with some Bondo and smooth that out so that you can't see this little grill here. I would like to get that covered up. I wish I would have thought to do that the first time I built it. And then probably build a new backing board. Instead of using wood, I'm probably going to use plastic. So there's a Ecto, a little mini coupe back here, or a little Tex coupe Ecto that I just finished building for my toddler for Halloween. And one of the things that I had to do was build a floor for her so that when I'm pushing her around, she doesn't put her feet underneath it. So I got this sheet of plastic on Amazon. It's about 2 feet by 1 feet, and this was about just under $20. So I probably get something like this. This is 1/8 of an inch. I'll see if I can find something a little thinner to try and make an actual board for this. This actually might be the perfect, come to think of it, this might actually be the perfect thickness, 1/8 of an inch. And then, I'd use that to build a new backing board, and it'll be a nice plastic one, a little lighter. So if I ever get the bug, those were really the only 2 updates. Other than that, I really consider this to be complete. I like the way it came out. I really love the way it came out. My daughter is over the moon, especially at the thought of having lights and sounds, everything that she can control from the gun, and her pack is now as loud as my pack. She just absolutely loves it. She's over the moon with it. So, yeah, I think I covered everything. I hope I didn't forget anything. If you have any questions, of course, send me questions. I've been answering questions in the comment section. I've been answering questions over on Facebook. Feel free to send me whatever questions you want to send me, and I'll be happy to answer what I can. As always, thanks for watching. I have not done a video in a while, so I don't remember how I used to do my outros. Please like, please subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified whenever I make a new video. I've got a donate button up there if you want to tap on that. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe, tell your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.